The rarely talked about super antenna system, one of the first major antenna systems that I purchased early in my ham way of life. It's not necessarily inexpensive, but it has some really cool features that kind of set it apart. Why don't people talk about this antenna system? Even on my channel, I haven't talked much about it, but now I do have a reason to talk about it. It's one of those things I want to get out and do a full review on, and there are so many other pressing pieces of gear that come to the market that I just haven't made it to this one yet. Is it because no one's really talking about it? Is it because there's not a specific manufacturer that's pushing it? This thing certainly predates me when I got my ticket, but nonetheless, there aren't a lot of people that talk about this. When I go to Amazon, I can't even find the original kit that I purchased quite some time ago, but when I go over to the website of Ham Radio Outlet, there is the full kit. Oh, now maybe that's why we're not talking about it. The price tag. Well, just hang on a second. I'm a buy once, cry once type of person. You know that about me. I'm not afraid to spend money on good gear. I view this as good gear. It's just that there are other new things coming to market that manufacturers are constantly asking me to take a look at. I'm happy to oblige then. No one's asking me to talk about this, so it just kind of sits there. I use it occasionally. It's time to talk about it. The things that make it unique are this. It's a single antenna kit in one bag, 2 meters through 80 meters. You heard me. 2 meters through 80 meters. Is it compromised? Of course it's compromised. You can't be in this small of a kit and not be compromised. But one of the other cool things about it is the whip is made out of, I'm assuming, titanium or something that doesn't have a memory. It coils across the backside of this bag. If there's one thing I don't like about this antenna, I'll tell you right now what it is. It's the bag. Everything about this antenna system I like. The bag is pathetic. Well, guess what? You've likely seen me recently introduce the new Gabil radio antenna radio go bags. Very reasonably priced, unbelievably flexible. Let's see if we can adapt this to our super antenna full kit. So before we go any further, we're going to start with the problem child in getting this into the Gabil kit. I think that's this flexible whip. Now, not all of the super antenna kits come with this flexible whip. The kit that I purchased did. It had everything. So I've removed 1, 2, 3 of the pouches in the Gabil radio go bag. And with this flexible whip, it will, flex without destroying itself or having you destroy it. Just like this. It's flexed no different than it was in the original bag. So now let me get everything else out of the super antenna bag. We're going to put it here on the workbench so you can see everything that's there. And then we're going to try to layer everything else in here, probably put some of these pouches back and see how we can roll this roll bag back up. Okay, here we are. Let's see if we can follow right to left and tell you what everything is, and you can refer to this picture as we go. This is a coil antenna. We're used to coil antennas, so we usually have one coil that will adjust. This coil, I believe, probably gets us up to 40 meters. This one then gets us to 60, so we're adding these two together, and then this one to 80, so it'll be the combination of these coils will get us 20 through 80. This is a ruler that helps you adjust your coil, gets you in the ballpark of where you need to be. Here is a telescoping whip. Yep, look at that. About as tall as my hand. That's how tall that telescoping whip is. That's in addition to the super flexible whip that's already in the Gabil bag. Here are 3 tripod legs to go with this center hub, a la, think Wolf River coils. And here's a ground spike mount. Ground spike with a mount. So you can mount your antenna here on this device as opposed to the tripod. Here, your 3 legs on top of the ground. Here, your 1 spike in the ground with this mounting plate. These are posts to help you get elevated up off of the ground. So this will get your coils off the ground for better radiation and performance. We have a series of who knows what back here. Looks like there's some type of antenna mount and a vise grip of sorts, or a clamp to help us clamp probably this onto some type of table. I've never opened those up and used those. I've used this primarily with the ground stake and with the tripod. Over here are a series of radials for all the bands. If you know anything about me at this point in time, you know that I'm a fan of the HOA Ham radial system. I'll put a thumbnail here, and you should go watch that video if you don't know about that. It's the fastest way to get yourself ground radials set up for any of our portable antenna systems today. And certainly I would use that over this, but if you buy the full kit, you do get these. They connect with these spade terminals that are on both the ground spike plate as well as the tripod center hub. So, can we get all of this in the Gabil bag? I'm going to say that's going to be a piece of cake. The only challenge I think is going to be that super flexible whip that's already in the bag. Can we fit all of this in that bag as well and find a way to roll it up in a reasonably small size? So we have everything in the bag, and we have 3 remaining pouches from the Gabil bag. So we have, I will call this the fallback position of the configuration. It's not where I intended to start, but I haven't tried my final ultimate goal here. So it's just like a satchel. Let's get me off the screen so you can see that more clearly. It's just like a briefcase would be. That's very similar to what the original case was, only it's open on the sides. Now, no fear, because nothing can come out. It's all contained here in the Gabil bag in Velcro. They're all Velcro pouches. So you can see I have 3 bags that I put in here on the Velcro strips, 2 of them on top of the whip. So that's what's holding the super elastic whip down. Everything's here in these 3. So I just fold it up. Can we actually turn this into a roll pouch? Let's give that a try. Okay, not organized quite the same way, but the same stuff. So here's all of our ground radials. Here's the instruction manuals. There it is. Here's the ruler. The extensions. Nope, that is, there we go. The extensions, ground stake, ground spike plate, tripod, whip, all of the coils, and the bag of miscellaneous stuff I've never touched. We did it. So it all fits. All right. So I was able to roll it up, even with that super elastic whip in there. I just needed to start at the end away from the whip. So by the time I got to the whip, the roll was already sufficient that it didn't crimp down on that whip too tight. I'm going to go ahead and roll this up and just see what it looks like in the morning. Talk to you soon. Hang on. I'll show you what it looks like tomorrow. Okay, it's not a day later. It's almost a week later. Yeah, same shirt, same mug. There's only so much I can change. No Band-Aid on the thumb, still a Band-Aid on the pinky. I had to show my 8-year-old grandson, who was boss in Nerf basketball, in his room, and my finger met the rim and took a chunk out. So, all right, did the titanium whip deform? Like I said, I'm going to say this is 4 days ago, so I guess not quite a week, but more than 24 hours. So let's get me off the camera and let's get a look at this and see if we deformed that whip. Because if so, then, you know, you need to modify this or go to that satchel style for your super antenna. Here we go. Well, it's certainly sprung open. There it is. So there is no deformed characteristic of this other than what it was to begin with. It sat in that black bag for almost 3 years and has a slight bend when you insert it on the coil, but I was more concerned about rolling it, that I would get a little bit of a dip here. Again, it's only been 4 days. So I'm going to keep using this because I dislike that black bag for the super antenna. I like the super antenna. I need to get it in a full review and get that out there for you. I don't like it because internal Velcro on the bag has basically torn apart, and the bag didn't get heavy use from me. The second thing would be it basically has 2 side pockets, and everything just sinks to the bottom, so the bag becomes bottom heavy. I just don't like it, and this is a much better solution. Here's a picture of what I've been doing on the shack, and you might notice a couple of other antennas that might find their way into this roll bag sometime in the future. I'll leave a link in the description below for this antenna bag so you can pick it up if you want it for your super antenna. Thanks for watching, friends. I'll talk to you soon. 73.